paying attention to my presentation.
I have it. I have it on.
It's full screened on my shitty ass
Full
tiny
screen.
laptop. It has nowhere else to go.
Oh my gosh.
I am eyes open.
You can do like
ears
window
open.
or not window, but like the Discord like
My
little
screen,
preview
my screen
thing.
is so tiny.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
the text.
don't matter. I do also have it full screened.
Wow.
We are hella ready for this presentation.
Right, am I ready? No. I'm literally gonna read slides. But it's like walls of text.
Hell yeah.
Yippee! Okay. Oh shit, I went to the wrong I went to
When you
the
go
What is
wrong
happening?
wrong screen. I'm sorry, I don't know how OBS works.
Dude, that was me yesterday when I was trying to do a thing and I was like, oh
Professional
yeah, let me just
streamers
change
right here.
scene.
It's because we haven't done a proper D4 in so long.
It's
Oh
been...
yeah, blame it on us.
Yes, I am going to blame it on you.
It's been how many
Years.
How many
It's been 55 years.
Maybe like
four
2, 3,
intermissions.
4 times. Yeah. Anyway, welcome to my presentation, where I'm gonna talk about narumitsu / wrightworth, and how I believe it's basically a canonical pairing in the Ace Attorney games. As a side note, there is like someone did write a very long, comprehensive wrightworth essay on AO3. I don't know if you know about this, where they compiled all the little bits of information throughout all of the games to support like Phoenix and Edgeworth's ship, and it's called Evidence is Everything.
Holy shit.
Jesus
Oh my
fucking
god.
Christ.
I mean,
You can
Did
post
you
anything
read
on
that?
AO3.
Is that your reference?
I didn't read it. No, I didn't want it to influence me. So, but I just want to put a disclaimer out there that, you know, this is word vomit and it's no way comprehensive, and I will definitely be forgetting stuff. And Ace Attorney is a big series, and many other people have talked about wrightworth before and have probably done a better job. Yes, Miko? Do you have any questions?
Oh no. I was just reading. You will be evaluated on enthusiasm on the subject, pronunciation, grammatical errors, and how thorough the subject was researched.
Okay, great, thank you. I won't let you down. By the way, spoilers for everything except for investigations too, so. Or like, not for like the cases themselves, but like, you know, what happens with Phoenix and Edgeworth. Okay, alright, the beginning, spoilers for the trilogy. Yes, so essentially, Phoenix and Edgeworth, the ship boils down to they're just basically childhood friends who drifted apart. Edgeworth was involved in a murder case when he was younger, around elementary school, involving his father's death. After the case was over, he was taken in by Von Karma and thus moved away from Phoenix and Larry, right? And being raised by Von Karma just made his perfectionist streak even worse. He, as a child, he was already kind of like gifted kid, like perfectionism, but like Von Karma just made that 1,000 times worse. And then Phoenix, meanwhile, after Edgeworth left and he grew up, he went to art school. And then he ran in with Dahlia, and we can talk about her later, but I don't know if we need to. And then
it doesn't matter.
It's okay.
It doesn't have any implication onto the ship.
And then ultimately decided to pursue law afterwards. I think it's a little bit foggy to me, but basically when you meet Phoenix and you're playing as Mia in the third game, right? And you meet Phoenix as like a student, he tells Mia that he's currently studying law on the side. So like maybe he was going to art school doing art, and then he was like, I'll do like a minor
double
in law,
degree.
a double degree. I'm not sure what
Oh my
exactly
God.
what's happening there, but
This
he did.
overachiever.
He was studying law at the time too, so you know, just to. So, but yeah. And when he okay, so literally other than a general, I want to help people who feel like everyone is against them. The only other reason why Phoenix pursued law was because of Edgeworth. Edgeworth's situation, also during case 4 colliding with Phoenix's moral help when it seems like no one else would help, right? So Edgeworth, in case 4 of the first game, was accused of murder and he was the defendant for that case, right? And like it was like a situation where it's like no defense attorney would want to defend Edgeworth because Edgeworth has been so mean to them. I don't know. And Phoenix was just like this is another case where it's like someone who's like beaten down on their luck and no one's there to help them except me. I'm the defense lawyer.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then last couple of bullet points. It's crazy to take a bar exam just for a man who, by the way, you have not spoken to in almost 20 years. And the logic being that it's the only way to see him again. Like, bitch couldn't wait outside the courthouse. He had to be in the courthouse. And then, to the right, I have my sources, my evidence. This is Maya saying, that's why you became a defense attorney, to meet Edgeworth, which is wild. And then Phoenix, this is the line that Phoenix says after Maya says this, where he goes, if I was a defense attorney, I knew he had to meet me whether he wanted to or not, in court. Edgeworth believed in me and I believe in him. He's in pain and no one is on his side. I'm the only one who knows the real Edgeworth. I'm the only one who can help him. Crazy
The
talk.
only one.
The only
one.
As if
This delusional defense lawyer.
As if this game didn't have like a billion prosecutors and defense attorneys.
It really does seem like Phoenix is the only defense attorney in Japanifornia. But yeah.
Fucking wild.
Yeah, that was case 1. So that was game 1, I mean. Continuing Phoenix's effect on Edgeworth for the first game, right? So as explained before, Edgeworth, this guy, has been von Karma-ing his whole law career. So Von Karma has like this perfect win record, which is like the big source of like his pride and also terror, which is basically getting every defendant declared guilty in court, right? So he's like a prosecutor who never loses. And then so when Edgeworth loses to Phoenix in case 2, right, where Maya's the defendant, it breaks his win streak, and then Gumshoe tells us how Edgeworth was really upset about it. And then in case 3, so that's the samurai one, and then as D. Vasquez is slowly seen to be more and more guilty, Edgeworth ends up helping us by making her testify again, even though he's supposed to be fighting for her favor as his job as a prosecutor. So he ends up going against his role, right? Because he realizes like, oh wait, shit, this woman is definitely the killer, you know, even though he would lose. So through these two, there is just 2 cases with Phoenix. Edgeworth begins to slowly come to terms with the error of his ways, hence this unnecessary feelings bit that has made the rounds everywhere. And it leads to the situation Edgeworth is in the second game, but like before we talk about that, we have to talk about the 06 first. But oh right. This is leading into my next slide, but basically about the 06 and about case 4 of the first game, where Edgeworth is trying really hard to keep Phoenix away from all that because of his trauma, nightmares, and like what happened with his father. He's just like, I don't want to see you.
Elevator trauma.
Yeah, the elevator trauma. He's like, I don't want to burden you with like my stuff.
Bro.
And he doesn't want Phoenix to see him at like such a state, right? There is like a line where he's like, I don't want you to see me like this, and Phoenix just like, I don't want to see you like this either. Like, what the hell you do?
Oh my god.
Why are they gay?
Why are they gay? Really?
Why are you gay?
Okay. DL6, just case 4, right? I don't want to talk about this too many times because they bring up DL6. That screen, that like CG of the flashback, I've probably seen it 10 million times. It's insane how in my head it is because you play these games and they bring it up over and over again. But DL6 is a case where Edward's dad died, and it's also the case where they used the spirit medium, Maya Mia's mother, to contact the dead Edward's dad. And this is just, you know, I forgot how applicable this is to like wrightworth itself, but it's like kind of like Edgeworth lore backstory. So like Von Karma is proven to be the guilty party, right? Which is crazy. It's just like, wow, it just so happened to be that evil guy that was in the game. The small text, by the way, because it might be hard to read, is saying how, like, dude, it's next level asshole to kill the man who merely pointed out that you were using false evidence or something and gave you a penalty in court, then steal his son and raise him into probably the kind of attorney that his dad would have hated. Crazy stuff. Anyway.
Like how the next point is crazy, comma.
What? Oh, okay. These last couple of bullet points. I think it's pretty whipped of Phoenix to believe so strongly in the fact that Edgeworth could have done no wrong, even on accident, and that it must have been another person who killed his father. So basically, for context, while case 4 is going on, right, Edgeworth is the defendant, and by the way, the murder that happened was like a murder on the lake, right? So it wasn't the elevator one. Elevator one happened like years ago when Edgeworth was a child, right? So, but Edgeworth's on trial for like a murder that happened recently, obviously. But then, but the people involved have to do with the past murder. Yeah. So, but like throughout the case, because while solving the present case, they also end up working to solve the past case too that was left kind of unsolved. Edgeworth is slowly he's been having these nightmares of, you know, the thing, what happened in the elevator, and he comes to the conclusion because he hit the gun and then blacked out and heard like a gunshot, and there were only 3 people in the elevator: Edgeworth, a bailiff, and his dad. So Edgeworth has been having these nightmares, and he slowly is realizing, he's like, what if I'm the one who killed my dad and it wasn't the bailiff, right? Or somebody else, right? Like, what if I did it, you know? And like, and Phoenix doesn't have any, like, there's no evidence yet, nothing. He's just like, nah, Edgeworth wouldn't have done that. Even though the situations that, like, he was a child, he threw a gun thinking that it would stop 2 guys from bickering because, you know, and I don't know. I just think it's pretty whipped of Phoenix to immediately be like, nah, it couldn't be Edgeworth. Yeah.
The amount of faith he has is very gay.
Very gay of you. Phoenix.
Very gay of him.
Like, I get believing in your client until the end, but like this much?
And like there was like a plausible possibility that, yeah, it could have gone off if when he threw it.
Yeah, like, I feel like...
Was it on purpose? No, but like, still, girl.
Right? Like, Edgeworth's nightmare and him coming to that conclusion isn't crazy to think, like, to assume. It would be, like, very tragic if it were true. But it's not, like, it's like a logical conclusion. What the illogical conclusion is that no, it was a 4th person who came into the elevator and shot your dad. Like, who the fuck would have known? Okay, but yeah, I can't express it well, but the back and forth. I don't want to get you involved in my messy past, and then, but I need to know more. I want to help you between them during the whole fucking case. Is crazy. And I'm still mad that Phoenix and Maya left Edgeworth on the ground after that earthquake.
Oh yeah. Oh my god.
Wait,
That's
what?
like big L on their part.
Oh my! So like Edgeworth passes out when an earthquake happens because the earthquake is what trapped him in the elevator in the first
Because
place.
he's a pussy.
And he's a pussy.
Just like in
No.
the airplane turbulence.
So like an earthquake happens while they're talking to Edgeworth in the detention center. Sorry. And then Edgeworth curls up into a ball on the ground, and then Maya and Phoenix are like, "Is he on the ground shivering there? Huh, that's kind of weird. Anyway, let's go."
Anyway, let's go.
No.
What's wrong with you two? No help, no are you okay? No like, hey, like police bailiff guy in the background, can you check on him? Like,
Right.
damn.
Oh my god.
Irresponsible.
Yeah. Also, image on the left is just a funny comic from like an extra from the fourth case. And I included
Look
it
at the
because I liked Phoenix and Edgeworth laughing at the bottom here. And because and then with Maya coming in and saying, "I want to see Gordy," it kind of feels like dads and their daughter. Okay.
They're an activity they both enjoy. Torturing Larry.
Yeah.
It's their
Um,
favorite pastime.
You want
Their
to?
favorite couples activity, actually.
You can take care of him in sickness and health. Ah,
Oh,
he was thinking ahead. It's okay. He makes up for it in a different earthquake. I'll talk about later. I have a whole slide dedicated to it.
in a different earthquake. How many earthquakes?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so Rise from the Ashes, which is the extra case in the first game. And I'm not gonna talk about Damon Gamp because that's not unrelated. But Edgeworth is the prosecutor for this case. And Edgeworth is tasked to prosecute Lana Sky's case this time, and Phoenix is defending her. During the case, it's revealed that Edgeworth has used forged evidence in court before, basically confirming some of the rumors to be true. So like before we even meet Edgeworth, we have like this like rumor introduction where it's like he's like this big bad prosecutor who like has never lost a case before and like would do anything for a guilty verdict, even use forged evidence, like all that stuff, and which is what worried Phoenix to begin with to become a lawyer. or like it's part of his motivations. Yeah. Even though this evidence was orchestrated by Damon Gant and Lana, he's still put until under scrutiny, and he almost resigns during this case. Okay, and then
Yeah.
once again, even though Lana insists that she's guilty, Edgeworth helps Phoenix out by getting Emma to testify about SL9, which is another past case, as well as a handful of other instances in pinning down Damon Gant as a real big bad. Yeah, so like once again, Edgeworth's like, yeah, I realize now that like this guy's the evil one, but even though it's like not part of his job. And then so like after Damon Gant like is revealed to be evil, or like, you know, he loses his mask a little, he leaves Edgeworth with some like "we're not so different, you and I" type shit. And it like makes Edgeworth feel uneasy, and he tells Phoenix he's afraid that he might also stray one day, doing some vigilante justice outside of the law. And then Lana reassures him by saying that because he has Phoenix in court, he's able to pursue the truth or whatever. Like, Jesus Christ. Right, and that's this screenshot in the top right, where Lana says, "Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Manfred von Karma, were both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said, in order to fight crime on my own, I'd need a weapon. That may be true, but I think back to today's trial, you weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright. And because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright?" Like, damn, Lana.
Hell yeah, Lana.
Let's go, Lana.
Yeah, and then, well, after this case, Edgeworth disappears, and that's game 2. Oh, right, and this extra screenshot, this is if you check the chessboard in Edgeworth's office with Emma as your, like, investigation buddy, and Emma goes, hey, a chessboard, and Phoenix, like, I'm not too up to my chess, but it looks like blue's in a bit of a tight spot. Emma says, the red knights have surrounded a blue pawn. Huh? Those horses are mounted knights. Their swords have really sharp edges. Check out that poor pawn. His head is kind of spiky. Kind of reminds me of you. Yeah. Like,
this one. Oh my god.
What the hell is this doing in your office?
Ezra
What
is like
is this
playing
setup?
Barbie.
Like Barbie fucking chess.
Okay. Crazy. Alright, game 2. This is Justice for All, and also known as Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth Chooses Death. So, as a result of the stuff from the first game, Edgeworth disappears, leaving only a note on his desk reading, Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth Chooses Death. His physical disappearance has a lot of people believing it to be a suicide or him just running away. Basically, he's like MIA. And this includes Phoenix, who also believes he's like MIA or dead or whatever, and he's pissed about it. But like, it's like, that's fair. I'd be pissed too. Like, Ayo, I thought we had something, and now you're flaking.
Yo, I thought we had something.
And then when Edgeworth comes back, which is in the last case, where he randomly shows up again, and we saw him like a little bit before this, but like to Phoenix, he randomly shows up again, and then Phoenix calls Edgeworth a coward for what he did. The girls are fighting.
Oh my god.
Edgeworth comes back at the end of the game during the last case. Phoenix is understandably mad, but misunderstands Edgeworth's reason for leaving and lashes out saying mean stuff like, I wish you just stayed dead. Like, damn. Edgeworth says that Phoenix...
What the fuck?
Yeah. Edgeworth says that Phoenix's hatred is one-sided and that he's willing to help with the case if Phoenix wants. Basically comes back as a changed man. He's reached prosecutor nirvana or something, and they end up his soul-searching journey and whatnot. He comes back, he's just like, I've learned what it means to be a prosecutor, why I stand in court. Why do you stand in court, Phoenix, right? Yeah, and then after the last case of Justice for All is over, he talks about how being defeated by Phoenix changed his worldview and what he learned. And I'm just going to read to you the transcript because I can't really put this in any other ways. And it might be kind of long, so bear with me.
Okay.
So for some context, right, the case just ended. Phoenix lost this case because Matt on guard is a crazy bitch. Which means Edgeworth technically won, right? And then Von Karma, who is the like main prosecutor for this game until Edgeworth like jumps in at the end. But she's been the prosecutor that Phoenix has been going against for like all the other cases, right? And she's Manfred Von Karma's daughter, right? So she also has his like, I gotta win every case, you know, like perfection. I like, you always have to get a guilty verdict, that sort of stuff. Right, so she comes in and she says, why are you still smiling, Mr. Phoenix, right? You lost, your perfect win record has now been crushed, and yet you are still happy. And then Phoenix is like, you don't understand, Miss Von Karma. And it's like, and Edgeworth's like, she'll get it later. You know, she's still young. But basically, like, the nirvana that Edgeworth reached was like, oh, prosecutors and defense attorneys, they both fight for the truth in court instead of trying to win something to boost their own crazy egos. Yeah. And he says, for my own personal victories and for guilty verdicts, I used every dirty trick in the book, and so my win record remained spotless. But a man appeared and stood fast against that selfish me. I fought him in my usual manner and tasted my first defeat. I felt like I had lost everything because of that, and then it was my turn to sit in the defendant's chair, and I was saved by that person I called my enemy. I couldn't forgive myself for all that had happened, so I left the prosecutor's office, and I left that note, Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death, right? And he continues, he says, but that was not what happened. After I left the prosecutor's office, I finally came to realize something. It was in that moment of clarity that everything began to change, right? So basically what he says what is it? No matter how desperate the situation, instead of giving up like most people, that man would hold strong with his undying faith. And then, before I knew it, I began to trust in that man as well. And Von Karma says, "What? You trusted your enemy?" And Edgeworth continues explaining, "It doesn't matter how many underhanded tricks a person uses, the truth will always find a way to make itself known. The only thing we can do is fight with the knowledge we hold and everything we have. Erasing the paradoxes one by one, it's never easy to call and scratch. We eventually reach that one single truth. This I promise you."
Damn.
I'm trying to skim for the parts that are juicy so I don't read everything.
Still not him like having a fucking
His whole fucking life
soul
changed
searching
after
journey,
Phoenix
yeah.
came in and beat him. It's crazy. Edgeworth says to Phoenix, "That's the reason why prosecutors and defense lawyers exist. But I'm sure you knew that already, didn't you, right? That's why you couldn't forgive me, this man who went into hiding. Isn't that right? This man who only had his sights set on victory, who ran away into the night." And then Phoenix says, well, he has thoughts. He says he really let me down in his thoughts. And then he says to Edgeworth, "When you disappeared, I felt betrayed. The reason I decided to become a lawyer to begin with was because I believed in the things you said to me all those years ago." Oh shit, I forgot about the flashback. Class trial, I'll talk about it later. "And you betrayed your own words. That's why one year..."
Oh my god, gee.
Shut up. I've been so focused on other things. That's why 1 year ago I made up my mind and decided that the Miles Edgeworth I knew had died. At least that's what I told myself. Man. So, anyway, for context, Rao, I totally forgot about the class trial. How did I forget? They were childhood friends, and the reason why they even became friends is because Phoenix got accused of stealing some fucking lunch money while everyone was at gym, and then the elementary school class was like, "We should hold a class trial and see if Phoenix really did steal the lunch money or not." And then the class trial was basically all the kids bullying Phoenix and saying, "Oh my god, you're such an asshole, how could you steal someone else's money?" And Phoenix is just crying and being like, "But I didn't steal his money." And then through the voices emerges young Edgeworth, where he's like, "Objection," you know? And he says,
objection.
and he says like, "Oh my god, you guys are all accusing this kid, but you're not presenting any proof, you know?" And basically with Edgeworth's help, Phoenix isn't, you know, lynched by his class. And then they became friends. And that's what inspired Phoenix to go and pursue law, because of that, like, once again, like, help when it seems like no one else is helping. It's like, it felt like I was all alone in that class until Edgeworth stepped up and helped me, that sort of thing. Yeah, okay.
Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry, I forgot about it. I can't believe I forgot. It's okay. Yeah. So, anyway, that's game 2. There's like a lot more stuff you can talk about with Edgeworth in relation to Franziska, but like, that's not wrightworth, so I'm gonna skip that. Sorry, Franziska.
Sorry, Franziska. It's the extension of Pride Month.
Okay, game 3! Oh my god. So, Trials and Tribulations, also known as Psychologs. So there is less Edgeworth in this game, because it's pretty focused on Maya and Maya's family. So it makes sense, right? But he's around for the last trial. Otherwise, during all the other time, he's like studying abroad and stuff. He's learning other countries' law systems. Like, he's very into it. He comes back for the last case because Phoenix pulls a dumbass and he falls off a burning bridge into a river, where he literally should have died, but did not, and just ended up in the hospital with a cold. But because he's in the hospital for like the first trial investigation and trial days, he's like out of commission. So Larry calls Edgeworth, who is in France or some shit. He's in some European country, and Larry yells at Edgeworth to come back because Phoenix, quote, took a nasty spill, and then he takes a private jet in order to get there as soon as possible.
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Look at this
What the
man. A private, just for a man. Okay.
Man.
Phoenix asks Edgeworth to defend Iris in court in his place. And then we get to play as defense attorney Edgeworth for like a day.
Oh my god.
But he
Oh,
sticks
yeah.
around
God,
after. Yeah, the job switch. Damn. Phoenix never gets to be a prosecutor though. A shame.
Now he's been in the 3 positions of being the accused, the defense, and the prosecutor.
Yeah. Well, he truly has experience at all, Edgeworth.
He's
Now
the
he
real
needs to be the
MC.
judge. Yeah, he needs to be the judge now.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
His like midlife crisis career change.
He shifts to judicial work. The conversation with Iris, I don't remember what this was, but I did link it, and I do have it here. So, what the shipping wiki says, while Phoenix was not in any danger, he asked Edgeworth to defend Iris in court, giving him his attorney's badge and magmatama. When Iris asks Edgeworth what Phoenix is to him in the 3DS HD remake and onwards, he responds with that he is a quote, a very dear and indispensable friend. Another interesting thing to note is that when Edgeworth presents an incorrect profile, one other than Phoenix, during a psych-lock session with Iris, so if you mess up during the questioning and stuff, Iris will mention a deep, dark secret that Edgeworth is hiding, and he seems shocked that she knows about it. Iris also says that it takes one to know one. While we never find out more about this, some people believe that Iris could sense Edgeworth also harbors feelings for Phoenix like herself. So.
Oh. Okay. I don't remember this.
That's only if you
I
mess up during the
to-
Cyclox stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
god damn, okay.
No, Zay!
Oh no, Zay. Zay!
Yeah.
Here
Okay.
lies Zay.
Should we wait for Zay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Zay
We
will be
can't
back.
go on
Okay, let's
without
wait.
Zay.
Exactly. I don't have a slide for it. During this time, should we talk about Dahlia Hawthorne? Actually, I don't know what to
Why?
say. Why? You're right.
I have no positive thoughts for her.
And you shouldn't. I feel like Iris is a mixed bag though, because like I don't know.
Iris is fine, but I don't like her character, like the shy types and stuff. The
Yeah.
quiet, shy girls. Or have I ever liked someone like that? Like a fictional character.
Yeah. Like Hinata from Naruto.
I mean, I guess I don't.
That's my first thought. Where it's like shy girl who just crushed on a boy and then turned into Zay.
Oh, here lies Zay.
R.I.P. Zay. A shy girl who crushed on a boy, got stronger for a boy, and then turned into a housewife.
Oh no. Oh. Oh, welcome back.
Hello? Are you returned?
I was so concentrated on the thing that I forgot to plug in my laptop.
No worries, it's all good. Yeah. There is like, because I don't know if Iris really does like Phoenix or crush on Phoenix. Like probably a little bit, because they did go out while in college, and then, but like it was under sort of false pretenses, so it's kind of awkward. I don't know. But this meeting is weird.
It is.
What in the situationship is that?
Man, I don't even know. Next slide! The earthquake! Alright, am I dedicating a whole slide to this? Sure. So, on the last investigation day for the last case of this game, an earthquake happens at the crime scene. So, Edgeworth is at the crime scene at the time and watching Iris. And when the earthquake happened, he passed out, and which let Iris escape, basically. And the reason why he was watching her is because, like, I don't know, shady stuff was going on with Iris and also Dahlia. It's a bunch of weeds to get into, but yeah. So when the earthquake happens, Phoenix, who now knows Edgeworth is bad with earthquakes, immediately thinks, "Oh no, earthquake, is Edgeworth okay?" Like, wow, okay. So Phoenix and Francisco are together when the earthquake happens, and they're like in a different temple, right? So they both run over to the where Edgeworth is keeping watch, right? And find Edgeworth. And Edgeworth is blaming himself for passing out, and he's very upset about it. And then later on, right, after some time, Phoenix finds Edgeworth in the garden courtyard area, and he's still beating himself up over his mistake, which is passing out during the earthquake. And Phoenix goes, like, he's still thinking about that. And okay, so, like, the conversations that they have here is crazy. I've seen like 10 animatics. It's I don't even know where to start with this, but they end up talking like a little bit, like reflecting a little bit about like what happened in the first game. And Edgeworth says, "I never imagined I could be so wrong about myself and my life. I'm sorry, right? There's nothing else I can say. Not after you chose to become a lawyer for my sake, and not after you saved me." And then Phoenix says in his thoughts, "Edgeworth, you're stronger than you think, so no more of this self-pity, okay?" Which is very cute. You should have said that out loud, Phoenix. And then some of the screenshots on the left here, Phoenix thinking, "Sigh, I was ready to hug it out with him, but he's still the same prideful Edgeworth." And then the thing from the other, yeah, okay, I already said. Last couple of bullets, the shipping wiki mentions that when you present stuff to him, like evidence or profiles, Edgeworth makes jokes and banters about some of them. And it's almost as if Phoenix is trying to cheer him up since he's feeling down. Yeah. Also, a kind of funny moment is like when Phoenix first spots Edgeworth in the courtyard, Edgeworth notices him and immediately starts running away.
Bro. Come back here.
Yeah. But I'm glad they had to talk about this. And I'm glad it happened after like this earthquake. And like to make up for the earthquake that happened during the first game where they did not care.
They did not care.
Yes, alright. Moving on. Some official art from this time that makes me happy. So, this one on the left, I've probably seen in like
Not the yearning look back over the shoulder.
It's like
Not the airplane leaving while they look over and wave at the plane.
Exactly. Like some of this is
What is
it's
this?
so BL coded. I feel like I'm seeing like the leftmost picture in at least 3 different YouTube thumbnails that talk about like the relationship.
This is the covers I see like at the very when you're like 100 pages deep into my reading mode.
No, it looks. It's like those old anime AMVs.
Oh my god.
Like the shipping ones, especially.
Yeah. Man. They're so yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A wife looking longingly at that plane.
The plane is so crazy. Like wartime wife waiting for her
Yeah.
husband to return home. Like damn. Phoenix. Man. Yeah,
Oh
but
my
the
God.
and the ones with like Maya in it are also very cute. It really feels like she's just like I don't know,
Wait, the way they're
the
sitting is,
younger
like,
sister. Yeah.
The what was it? I forgot the meme. I'm gonna find it.
It's okay. You can look for that. I have another page of illustrations. This one on the left is just everyone bothering Phoenix while he's working. Which crazy. I've never seen Phoenix working before. And then the one on the right is a Christmas one where Edgeworth is outside dressing up as Santa, assuming he's gonna pop in and pretend to be Santa, which is like, wow, what a dad thing to do, Edgeworth. Wild. And also, side note, I really like Francisco's outfit in that one. I think it's cute.
Okay, I'm back. What did I miss?
You missed gay longing art. Take a peek.
Is that Edgeworth's face? And it looks like it's like floating away on those floating lanterns.
Prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death moment. Man.
And they have children.
I have children.
Look, they have children.
Yeah! I think it's really cute.
Okay, I can't find the original photo of it, so I'm just gonna send the fan art one.
Okay.
But it's the
Stairs.
wait, that's so laggy.
You know, I think this is like one of those instances where even though it's not like explicitly, said in canon, it's definitely canon.
Yes, exactly. I'm glad this is all convincing you to believe in
You
what
did
I
not
believe.
have to convince me.
It's this meme.
I believe they're just married now. Oh,
The way
oh,
they sit.
oh my god. Oh, in the second photo?
Yeah, the way they sit. I think they sit like that in general though, because Edgeworth is always has his legs crossed.
Yeah. A cock shame. Okay. Here's a little bit from Investigations 1. There's the Phoenix mention. So, Investigations, which is Edgeworth's games, where he is the main character and he runs around doing stuff. There is no Phoenix present in the story, but he does get mentioned sometimes, and he shows up in the background as cameos, like once, twice, I don't know.
The fucking
The the fucking? Yes, who was fucking?
the boat.
The boat. They're just in the background vibing.
Well, there's a murder happening at the whole theme park.
Right. Phoenix doesn't appear at all in the Edgeworth games other than as cameos in the background, but he does get mentioned as that guy sometimes. His importance / impact on Edgeworth's life and way of thinking is very apparent in parts of investigations, and I think that's cute. So, like this, I suppose this is how a certain serial bluffer always feels referring to Phoenix bluffing about stuff in court. And then these other screenshots where he's going, did I say contradiction? He must be rubbing off on me. I'm starting to sound like him. And in a situation like this, what would that man do? What would he who can turn any desperate situation around do? Like wow, you're thinking about that man a lot, Edgeworth. That's wild. Crazy, because nobody even brought up Phoenix in investigations, other than Edgeworth and his thoughts. That's where they reside. Alright. This is
Edgeworth.
where things get kind of messy. This is so there's a 7-year time skip when Apollo Justice happens. It's also known as the Hobo Phoenix era, where basically the Ace Attorney games take a shift that apparently nobody was ready to take, and it's kind of awkward. So basically,
Oh my god.
there's no Edgeworth. In Apollo Justice, Phoenix is a washed-up ex-lawyer. He gets in a scuffle with Kristoff, who's like the big bad of the game. Big spoiler, could not tell by his evil glasses, and ends up losing his badge for presenting forged evidence. Even though Edgeworth had done the same in SL9, perhaps it's either the laws have changed in 3 to 4 years or because it was covered up, I don't know. Either way, he loses his badge and gains a daughter, Trucy. And so the game Apollo Justice is about Apollo, right? So Phoenix takes a more like laid-back mentor role, but he kind of ends up being a more manipulative and cynical character than the Phoenix from the trilogy. He's less of like a dummy goof guy and more of like the best days are behind us kind of guy. None of the other killer characters from the trilogy are mentioned or show up other than Emma Skye, and it's honestly just a mystery as to where they are, right? So this includes Edgeworth. We don't know where he is during this 7-year time skip. Maybe they touch on the investigations too, I don't know. But like, yeah, we get patches as for like, where the hell have you been in Dual Destinies, which is the next game after this. But it's largely understood that Phoenix handled this whole situation with Kristoff alone. Right, okay. So, it's unrelated but sort of related to Wrightworth. The whole time skip thing is the most confusing thing because there's a shift in direction with Apollo Justice and a whole cast of new characters, but then also people wanted Phoenix to still be in the Ace Attorney games, right? So basically they tossed out a lot of the trilogy cast that we know and love, so like Gumshoe and such, right? So we don't know where they are in this time skip. We don't know what happened or where they went. Dual Destinies starts to bring some of that cast back again, and so does Spirit of Justice, but you know, it's hard to fill in all the holes. And basically what that means is that during this 7-year time skip, it's prime headcanon hour because no one knows anything about anyone anymore.
Honestly, it just feels like an alternate reality.
They should have marketed it as that instead of them doing a 7-year time skip. And this is Hobo Phoenix saying, "Oh, I assure you, it's quite based." Okay, Hobo Phoenix.
Why is it like that?
Upside down.
Okay, this is a lot of rambling text, so I apologize in advance. But basically, I think it's interesting how Phoenix's fallout with the law, him losing his badge after wrongful false evidence, turned out compared to how Edgeworth's did, because Edgeworth also had like his prosecutor Miles Edgeworth chooses death, and the 7-year Hobo Phoenix reminds me of like a Phoenix version of that, but Phoenix is much more darker in this iteration. So instead of like the soul searching journey that Edgeworth did, where he went around and he discovered like, oh, I gotta fight for the truth instead of for like some win record or something, Phoenix spent 7 years gathering evidence in order to take revenge on Christoph Gavin, or so it seems. Even somehow bringing the jury system in order to convict Christoph, because Christoph was just too good at destroying evidence. And so he needed the jury's decision over the judges. And in the end, he did put a criminal behind bars, and what he achieved was the truth and justice and whatever, but his motivations seemed kind of gray. It really feels like he took on the, like, instead of like the I'll get a guilty verdict no matter what, it's like, I'm gonna throw this guy in jail because I know he did me wrong. Phoenix also forged his own evidence canonically twice in this game, and the whole thing reminds me of the way Edgeworth was first portrayed as like the anything for a guilty verdict, yeah. And like Damon Gant should have done the "we're not so different, you and I" to Phoenix instead of Edgeworth, because that's what he ended up doing. Yeah, but it also means like
are alive. Just visit him.
I don't know. I forget like if Ace Attorney has capital punishment or not, but like Frank Stallwit is still alive apparently, so they probably don't have capital punishment. I don't know if Damon Gant's still alive. He's probably, or he's just imprisoned for lifetime. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like it's more of a shame that they did a total 180 to go back to the old Phoenix for Dual Destinies. So like, after Apollo Justice, everyone was so distraught. They're like, what the fuck happened to Phoenix? Bring back the old Phoenix. And Capcom was just like, alright, fine, here you go. But like, it leaves all of this crap that happened, like, not resolved. Like, no, like, it's just like swept under the rug. It's crazy. I have so many unnecessary feelings. Yes.
They fucked up so hard. They no longer want to, you know, touch on it.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like, let's just pretend it didn't happen. I think he brings up Christoph like once when he was talking to Edgeworth in Dual Destinies, basically to say that like during the whole Christoph thing, he wanted to keep everyone that he knew away from it because he didn't want people, you know, being burdened by his shit. Which is like, damn, can these two stop doing that?
Okay, Miles Edgeworth. What the fuck is this? Who are you?
Who is this man? But yeah. That's Hobo Phoenix. Alright. Your Honor, they're married. So this is Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice. Also, it's been a while, so this is kind of foggy. But basically, this segment for Dual Destiny and Spirit, both of them are kind of like rotating characters. Edgeworth is way more of a side character, and Phoenix is like sometimes the main lawyer. They added, so like they have Apollo Justice now, right? Who's also a defense attorney. And then Dual Destiny, they added another defense attorney, Athena Sykes. So now there's 3 defense attorneys in their agency, and so they kind of rotate on like who's being the like the main attorney for the case, right? So Phoenix is sometimes there as the main guy, but like other times he's just like in the back. Yeah. And the same applies for like Spirit of Justice, because they've got more friends now. Right. And since Phoenix has like finished his trilogy, Edgeworth is now chief prosecutor. Like they've kind of reached the sort of end of like their character journeys. I don't know if they're gonna have anything else. I forget if Phoenix did any character journeying in Dual Destinies or Spirit of Justice, because it was more focused on Athena and also Apollo. So he's just kind of there. I don't know.
He's a fun little cameo.
Yeah. And then this screenshot is Phoenix when seeing Edgeworth. show up to one of the crime scenes in Dual Destinies. Basically, this is when the player, us, see Edgeworth again, right? And he says, "He may be a stickler for the rule of law, but I have no better ally in this world than him." So, like, damn. All right.
Okay, girl.
So tying up loose ends, Edgeworth comes back. Basically, in Dual Destinies, we learn that Edgeworth is now chief prosecutor, and also Edgeworth is the one to help Phoenix get his badge back. So in Apollo Justice, he lost his badge because he's doing shady stuff, right? And in the period between Apollo Justice and Dual Destinies, Phoenix takes the bar exam again to get his badge back. And Edgeworth is the one to really help him with that. And he was the one who was pushing for it, encouraging Phoenix to go back to the law in order to help with the last case of Dual Destinies. I think. I don't know. Which means, once again, Phoenix goes to take the bar exam and become a lawyer again for Edgeworth. He never learned his lesson.
For a second time.
The second time. It's from the shipping wiki. I don't know if it exactly 100% interpreted this way, but you know, they cite their sources. But Edgeworth did pull some strings in order for Phoenix to get his badge back faster when it should have taken longer, especially since Phoenix was literally forging evidence, right? And when they talk about it, like Edgeworth was just like, yeah, you know, it took a lot of work to try and help you get your badge back. And Phoenix like, yeah, haha, you know me, back when I was doing like all that forgery stuff. It's like,
Oh my god.
this is like kind of a big deal, guys. Can we not just sweep it under the rug like that? Oh well. But yeah. During the 7-year unemployment period, Edgeworth was probably, question mark, again, this is a lot of headcanon stuff, the one who had the most contact with Phoenix. Phoenix says that he deliberately kept people he knew out of the Kristoff stuff, but Edgeworth was informed enough to apologize for not helping out more. So I think it's like he's at least like knew about it happening, right? So they must have at least talked. Edgeworth also knows about Trucy before we see him again, which means he must have gotten to know her during the 7 years when Phoenix adopted her and stuff. And he also gets along with Pearl now, calling her Pearls, which is the same nickname that Phoenix gave her. So, interesting. All right. And then these are just some random screenshots Edgeworth saying, and you can mow them down just like you used to. So thanks for that. And also this one that has made its rounds some point where like you got something wrong when they were in court together, and Edgeworth says, "But your credibility phoned just now and told me to tell you to put a sock in it." And Phoenix says, "Yes, daddy."
Oh, I know that.
Yeah.
I seen that.
Why?
I don't
Also,
know.
wow, he looks much older now.
Yeah. The 3D graphics really age you.
All the glasses too.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's also a shadow on like near the bridge
Yeah.
of his nose where it meets his eye and stuff, so he looks older because of that.
He's got the
Edgy looks less edgy.
If anything, he got more edges. There's more polygons on him.
oh my god.
Yeah, he looks much softer now. Like, wow, that character development did something to him.
He's healing. Hard to include, but yes, when the banter when Edgeworth returns to court and he and Phoenix face off again after 9 years or something crazy is very fun, and everyone around them is canonically like, wow, this is a married couple arguing. Yeah.
God. What
Yeah.
are you guys? Jesus.
They're just
They're gay.
married. They're gay. They're the gay lawyers.
Canon already. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yes. Okay. So that was Dual Destinies. This is Spirit of Justice. So this is the latest game after Dual Destinies. Hard to provide context for this because it's a lot of Apollo lore. But basically, some of the cases in this game happen in Kuraim, which is another country. And then Phoenix, Edgeworth, Apollo, Athena, and Dirk, don't worry about that guy, fly over to Kurain to do cases there. Because basically you're like flopping back and forth throughout the
Is
game.
the name of the country crying?
I don't know. I think it's based off because it's so like it's related to like spirit mediums ? So it's like
Yeah.
similar to like Maya's stuff. And Maya's village is called Kurain. And this one is Kurai. I don't know.
This sounds like crying.
Crying. Crying. The crying country, sure. Yeah. And there's so much going on in Spirit of Justice. Wrightworth is just like a tiny little sliver in that game. And it's very background stuff. So basically, they end up investigating together at a point, and Edgeworth gets sentimental and then embarrassed when Phoenix points it out. And that's like this thing on the right where Edgeworth goes, I never thought the day would come when we'd be investigating a case side by side. And Phoenix says, oh, because I never thought the day would come when you'd get sentimental on me. And both of them agree that it would be nice to just sightsee together instead of working on the case.
Wait, hold up. This is
Hello.
so unrelated, but Edgeworth's hairline is not a middle part anymore.
Oh wait, I thought it was always like that.
Wait,
No,
go
it-
back.
Be a
Oh,
middle
Go
part.
back. Go back.
But now
Wait.
it's like side part-ish.
Oh yeah, it was a
See?
middle
It's the
part.
middle part.
Yeah, crazy. He started side
Wow.
parting his hair after 7 years. Oh no, it was like this
No.
in his sprites.
No,
yeah.
but like the other arts were like middle part. See? This is a
yeah,
middle part.
these are middle parts, but
He
it's
grew
like
up.
this when in
Maybe
his
grew up.
front-facing sprites.
I don't know. Back and
Maybe
forth with-
maybe it's part of his character development.
Character development, he got a side part.
God, why is this so long? Okay.
Because there's a lot of content.
There's so much. Yeah. They talk about how they would like to sightsee together, and then Edgeworth adding a snarky, you'd be the last person I want to go with, though. Like, bro.
Sure.
And then, right, and then also, Edgeworth does so much of the behind-the-scenes work to let Phoenix and the rest of his team investigate freely in Kurain. Like, it's insane the amount of nepotism happening right now. He's also the one to
Nepotism.
flight the Write Anything agency over, so he, like, fucking pays. Like, imagine having a rich husband. Must be nice, Phoenix.
Wow. He
'Cause
went from a
he's-
hobo to having a rich ass husband.
Yeah, exactly. He married up. Like, because Edgeworth is chief prosecutor now, and so he's literally, like, representing Japanifornia, coming over and, like, talking with Liz, like, yeah, let these guys investigate. Like, it's literally, he's the one that's letting Phoenix and his team do whatever, and the reason the story can just, like, you know, gloss over all that part. So the writers have to thank Edgeworth personally. And oh right, so this is a bunch of screenshots while they were investigating that I thought was funny. And this is so I'm just gonna
I
go from left
appreciate.
to right. So what a gaudy building. Looks like something you'd appreciate, Edgeworth. For the record, right, I have absolutely no interest in such ostentatious things. And Phoenix says the man who rides around in a red sports car wearing that frilly cravat thing. And then this stuff where they're talking. So you'd been here all this time. I wonder where you had gone. He's talking about Phoenix going to Kurain. And then Phoenix says, don't tell me you missed me, Edgeworth. Edgeworth says, as if.
Wow.
The courts have been so peaceful without you around. And then Phoenix, you make it sound like I leave legal devastation in my wake. Well, don't you?
I mean, is he wrong?
Is he wrong? No. I mean, have you seen Apollo Justice? Yeah. And then this is Drew.
What the
I would-
fuck?
if you would kindly detach your dog from my crab. Nice out of context screenshot.
That's so stupid looking. He's so serious.
Yeah, I love how it's like his regular sprite too, because when they made the 3D models and then they made like the sprites and poses with them, they made it so that it's like it resembles their original 2D sprites, right? So Edgeworth is still like standing man emoji, hands to his side, like all the time, and then they just fucking added the dog. Man.
His face is so.
Yeah.
Just standing man emoji.
Like,
Is there
the
like a
dog is
full
not
sprite
even-
of this? Let's please.
Yeah.
Dog is in. He's in. Like you'd think the dog would have enough weight for it to like choke him out.
Yeah.
But they're just standing God, that's
his
so
cravat
fun.
is like secretly heavy.
It's like
His crab is made. out
it's
of
like
the
it's not like
finest-
properly tied. It's like a I don't know, like a collar or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
So like even if you pull on it, it wouldn't like tighten. It's like plastic.
It
I don't
would
know.
just snap off. It's like if it's Velcro.
Yeah, Velcro. Oh my god.
Oh, someone actually did like a research on Edward's like cravat like necktie thing, right?
Mhm.
And they said the only way it's possible for him to tie it like this is if it's actually Velcro.
Crazy.
Oh my god.
Because wasn't it the time he took it off for Kay? Basically, he didn't even like untie it. He just
Yeah.
like took it off.
It's like a clip-on
yeah.
rabbit. He never learned how to tie. He didn't have a father figure. It's like
Dude, loco.
A present father figure.
a present father figure.
He had one. Was he a good one? No.
No, that's actually false. Von Karma is the one who literally gave it to him. There's like a
True.
was it maybe was it the anime? I don't know. There's like a scene in the anime maybe where like Von Karma is giving Edgeworth like his first crab, like some kind of
First
quinceanera.
What the heck?
'Cause I think Von Karma also wears a crabbit, right? I don't.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. So crazy.
Fucking
Okay.
wild.
This is some thoughts about late game Phoenix and Edgeworth. Even though it's rough with all the frequent new characters and lack of returning old ones from the trilogies or other games, really, I think it's funny how these new characters, especially the female assistant characters, are always pretty young. Like we keep meeting teenage girls. What's going on? So there's Franziska we meet when she's 18, and then Maya we meet when she's 17. But they're closer in age. With the recent games, Maya's 28. What the fuck? And then also like in Apollo Justice we meet Trucy who's 17, and then also Apollo who's 22, but like, you know, he's a guy, so it's whatever. We also meet Athena in Dual Destinies, right? The new defense lawyer who's 18 years old. And then we meet Pearls again in Dual Destinies who's 17. And then we meet Rafa in Spirit of Justice who's 14. So with all these young people around Phoenix and Edgeworth who are by now over 30 years old, it really just seems like they gain more and more kids every game. They're old and tired lawyers, and I feel like the game should just focus more on them taking a backseat role than letting the young ones learn. Like, I feel like Phoenix shouldn't have just become like the regular Phoenix Wright again, but that's a whole other thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they keep getting children. It's crazy. Alright. So that was all the games. Now let's talk about the anime. which covers the trilogy, I think. It covers all of the trilogy, actually. They do cut out some moments. They, like, most notably, they cut out the earthquake moment, which is a shame. But they do add in.
Why?
I know, I don't know why. Because they hate us,
Because
that's
it's
why.
probably awkward.
Awkward. They're like, it's too gay. Actually, no, they wouldn't even say that because this is what happens in the anime. There's this keychain
wait.
B plot.
Which
Oh my
which earthquake though? The first one?
Oh no,
'Cause
no,
if it was the first one,
the
then
second
yeah,
one,
it
the
can
second
be
one.
awkward. Oh, the second one? Oh,
Yeah.
then probably not.
So
Honestly, they probably just didn't have time.
yeah,
Yeah, it
most
could be
likely.
that.
There's a lot of stuff happening in the last case, so like I get it. But I'll still be sad about it. So yeah, the anime, there isn't that many differences, except they have like a sort of like a longer flashback with Phoenix, Edgeworth, and Larry, especially in the first season, which covers the first game, I think. I'm not 100% sure, because I haven't watched it completely. But they have this extra storyline with these Signal Samurai keychains that Phoenix, Edgeworth, and Larry all got together as children as like a symbol of their friendship. And then over the course of like 20 something years, Phoenix and Edgeworth still keep their keychains around. Phoenix's is all battered from being on his bags and stuff, and Edgeworth is still clean due to him having to hide the keychain while growing up, like because liking kids shows wasn't exactly Von Karma approved. And then Larry also noted Larry threw his away. So this is a very
Larry, no.
Phoenix Edgeworth thing.
Larry, you piece of shit.
So
It's
apparently,
okay, he knew he was third wheeling.
exactly, Larry. Yeah. Apparently, Edgeworth uses the Signal Samurai song as his ringtone, since it holds special meaning, it being the song that Phoenix used to reconnect with him 3 years after Deal 6. What? So I actually watched like a clip of this, and what happened is it was like Phoenix and Larry in middle school, maybe? So, and then like Phoenix was. I don't know how the conversation got to Edgeworth. Maybe Phoenix was just thinking about him because he's like that. And on some
He's
radio
your ex.
show, on some radio show that he knows Edgeworth listens to, he submitted like as like some fan message or whatever, saying
God.
like Signal Blue wishes that Signal Red is doing well or some shit. And Edgeworth overhears like while he's, far away and gets emotional, like crazy stuff. Like they added so much extra meat in
Gay.
this, like, because when
They added so much
they
extra
added
gay.
so much extra gay.
They had to reinforce it.
Yeah. Because
They
when we
needed that
first learned
emotional
about
baggage.
like them being childhood friends, it was just like the thing that happened in elementary school, and then Edgeworth moved away, and then they didn't see each other until like, the stuff in the first game, right? So like during that whole period of time, it's just kind of like mystery. Were they thinking about each other? Like how like Phoenix became a lawyer because of Edgeworth, but like how like is this at the forefront of his mind, And then the anime is basically like, yes, it was. So, crazy. After Phoenix saves Edgeworth, Edgeworth also starts taking the keychain wherever he goes. Okay, right. So
Oh my
after
God.
like case 4, Edgeworth starts bringing the keychain out. Wild. What could it mean? That keychain? The symbolism. And then when Edgeworth was leaving with the prosecutor Edgeworth chooses death stuff, he turned around to grab the keychain before he went. What the? Yeah. So these keychains are very happy pride.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's
Who
the
needs rings? You just need your Signal Samurai keychain.
I don't know. I feel like did they ever make merch of this? This would just be subtle wrightworth merch.
They never made the Signal Samurai keychain, but they did make the wedding rings.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. I actually yes.
What is
Facts.
that?
Goss. I think this was from, I don't know, it was some Capcom comic. I don't remember it. There's some superhero stuff happening, and these two, this is what showed up in that panel.
Bro,
It was some Capcom crossover, I think. I don't know.
this
Um,
is
Yeah, so about those rings,
so
shipping people. Right. So in an interview with one of the writers, they said that Phoenix thinks Edgeworth is a good-looking guy. Though from quoting from the interview, it says that he thinks Edgeworth is cute. And he's talking about
God.
like his demeanor, which is more incriminating in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know where because it's a mess of interviews, but I've heard from literally like everyone who claims that like writers have said that Edgeworth isn't interested in women, and like I understand like what they're talking about. Basically, he's like too cool.
He doesn't have time
He's
for
too
women.
cool to be straight. And there is BL inspiration in Ace Attorney. I mean, come on. But I don't know the details about that. I just consume the content. Yeah, I'm not sure. Right. So the screenshot on the very right, in a magazine called The Nintendo Gamer, they did a countdown of the 25 best game couples, and number 16 was Phoenix and Edgeworth. And the caption reading "Getting court in the act?" question mark. And then the blurb is, aha, it's not Phoenix and Maya. Their goofy chats show they're more like brother and sister. Meanwhile, the objection tennis between our lawyer and his frilly rival has a spark to it that suggests they get along better than their courtroom antics suggest. Even writer Shu Takumi admits Phoenix would say Edgeworth is a pretty cute guy. Take that, naysayers. Crazy.
Oh my god.
Who wrote this? Holy
Really?
shit. Also,
Really?
wait, I have a thing on like the BL inspiration. I think it's like when they were creating the very first Phoenix game, if I remember the interview correctly, the person that made Phoenix, so the guy that wrote the entire Phoenix thing, he was like, they were talking to the producers and stuff, and they were like, it doesn't seem right if Phoenix doesn't have a rival because it's not very shonen.
Yeah.
And then, but the person that they went to talk to create a rival for Phoenix, so the Miles Edgeworth was supposed to be a very old guy,
Yeah.
but then they went to consult another writer who happens to write BL, and that's how Miles Edgeworth turned out.
Yeah.
If I remember the interview correctly, that's a gist of how it went down. So it was like, oh, Miles Edgeworth is supposed to be this really old guy who Phoenix just kind of like, butt heads with. But then they talked to another writer who writes BL, and then she was like, no, trust me, this would sell better.
And they were right. Yeah. That's how like prototype Edgeworth art was like old man, old greasy prosecutor guy. And then it pivots from old greasy prosecutor guy into like this. Yeah.
I like how the way they used frilly remind me of that one like screenshot you took of like, who is this fruity guy?
Who's this fruitcake?
This fruitcake.
How goes the shipping? It's certainly going. This ship it's old, and it sails well. Yeah, and also the last bullet point about the rings. So yeah, they have rings. Material Crown makes a lot of jewelry related to game anime stuff, right? So they made Ace Attorney ones, and Phoenix and Edgeworth got matching rings for some reason, and they look really good, but like the choice of it being rings, interesting. Like they got married or something crazy. Like there's other pieces in this collection. Like I think they have like Apollo's bracelet as like a necklace, and maybe a magmatama. I don't remember exactly, but But yeah, these two just got matching rings. Crazy.
Yeah, like if it was an ultimate game, you could make the case that like, oh, the rings means you're married to that character, but it's not an ultimate game. It's a fucking visual novel.
Yeah, right? That means they're marrying each
Like,
other.
no, because like in an ultimate game, right, the player exists in the story, but this in visual novels like these, the player doesn't fucking exist. So who owns the ring? Who are you matching with? Of course, the guy with the other ring.
I like how I wrote Material Crown, and the first thing is rings. Ace Attorney.
They're listening. They know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything else is a necklace.
Yeah, exactly.
At least in that
So, like,
collection.
What else do you have for the class? Is this it?
Oh, there's more. Hang on. All right,
Holy shit.
delusions, but are they really? And then this is from one of the official manga comics where Edgeworth looks up into the night sky and says, "For some reason, whenever I'm tired, I'm reminded of you with a starry constellation silhouette of Phoenix Ray."
What the fuck is this?
I can't believe this shit.
No, dude, that's not Phoenix, right? That's Pampton Neo.
No, stop.
Does look like Spamton though.
Moving on. Okay, this is less canon stuff and more just more random word vomit that I put out. Help me, it's a fucking found family trope at destroying my life again. So I kind of talked about this already, but in my eyes, they are just dads. It's single parent BL with Trucy, quite literally.
My God, wait, yeah.
Maya's older now, she's more of like a little sister character anyway. Because like she's so young, like I can't see her as in the way she acts too, like I can't see her as like a coupling.
Yeah.
And I
It's
just
weird.
Yeah. I just really like the fix where all the people around them, Phoenix and Edgeworth, are like, they should be together. Are they not together? Why are they not together? And then we need to get them together. It's a really old fic trope, but damn, I'm nothing if not a sucker for it. And then I find this whole found family thing very endearing, especially since everyone's family in this group, other than Phoenix maybe, it's kind of fucked. And even though the cases deal with tragic things, they're able to bond together and good around still. What? Goof around, probably?
Good around.
Good around.
This isn't even that much of a headcanon. Oops. Okay, I'll talk about something sexier next. I don't remember what is next, so don't get your hopes up. Also, this official art on the right is very cute. Okay. This
This was sexier.
Is this sexy? This can multiple ways, but the aliens are so goofy. Oh, about dynamics. I just see them as two goofs, two idiots. That's why I like them. Like, can you blame me? In terms of how comfy they are with relationships, oh, this is just like headcanons about stuff. Or how experienced they are. I've seen it portrayed in multiple ways, and I don't really have strong preferences either way. Commonly, people interpret Phoenix as the most emotionally available one, and also the one with more experience because he's canonically been in a relationship with Dahlia. Even though it was... Did it really count? I don't know. But both of them are pretty fucking bad when it comes to dealing with emotions, because literally both are, oh, I gotta handle this by myself, stay away. Yeah. Edgeworth is more reserved as a person, but also how he grew up. I can't imagine Von Karma was like, oh yeah, go fling with some chicks, son. I also don't know much about his stuff outside of court, so who knows if he's ever been on a date.
Actually, I think Von Karma might have like prohibited Edgeworth from anything dealing with women because he has a daughter.
Really?
Yeah, because like you're not supposed to be interested in my daughter, and you're not supposed to be interested in any woman. Period.
Oh.
Don't let me see it.
Be gay, son.
Be gay,
Be gay,
son.
son.
Honestly, I feel like he... like maybe not even just daughter. It's just like, I can see Von Karma just being like, you have no time for playing around. Focus on your I don't know your law. You focus on winning in court. Yeah. Yeah. But I've also seen headcanons where Edgeworth does have experience, but it's like the occasional hookup with a guy on a dating app or a bar, and it's like really discreet. I don't know. It can go either way, whatever. I think it's been said that Edgeworth basically has no friends other than Phoenix and Larry. But
Jesus.
also, low-key, does Phoenix have friends that are his same age other than Edgeworth and Larry? Because we don't see anything outside of the lawyer stuff, so what if they both don't have friends?
You know,
Who
that's
knows?
like completely plausible because when Phoenix was in university, prime time to make friends, right? He was head over heels for Dahlia.
Yeah, right? I don't know. And like,
So I don't think he was looking at anyone else except Dahlia, which meant that he probably did not have friends.
right? And he was like, I don't know, like he got accused of murder, so he's in court, right? And there was no like outside like friend like, hey man, are you okay? I heard you got accused of murder. Just wanted to check if you were doing fine, right? Or like during the 7 years, like it felt like Phoenix was just alone for that entire part, and like just with Trucy doing
No,
stuff
and
by
like
himself.
I think if you did have friends growing up, other than like, you know, Larry and Miles fucking Edgeworth, if he did have friends, he would not be keeping the fucking Signal Samurai keychain because like part of growing up and changing friend groups is throwing away old keepsakes because you don't have room for new keepsakes.
Yeah. He never found new friends. He only had Edgeworth and Larry, I
Yeah,
guess.
like I don't like personally. I had like childhood friends give me stuff, right? I don't know where the fuck they are. It's probably like, you know, like when I move houses, it went away as I moved.
Yeah.
Because Phoenix seems to have like moved around quite a bit too. So usually each time you move around, you would throw away things that like don't have that much sentimental value,
Mhm.
or literally just things that don't have value. Period. Sometimes they have sentimental value, but you can't take it with you. You know.
Yeah.
But like he made a point to always keep that keychain. So I don't think he has friends.
Wow, this is just two lonely bitches.
I mean, if you had friends, I don't think they'd be that close. Of
Yeah.
a friendship, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, they were friends with Larry. I don't think anyone else wanted to be friends with them.
Man. But you're right though. Okay. This is a weird AU that I wanted to mention because I was digging around for like what's like ideas, like AU ideas. I don't know. So this is Feeny and Bratworth, which is basically if they met again earlier when Phoenix was
Oh.
kind of like a wimp and Edgeworth was peak asshole.
Peak brat.
Peak brat, yeah. So it's basically like if you place Edgeworth in the courthouse during Phoenix's trial, like, and they saw each other again. Am I gonna read all of this? I guess. Feeny is pink sweater still studying out law at University of Phoenix, and Bratworth is younger Edgeworth, who is still very much following Von Karma's lesson plan and is high-key an asshole. Haven't really thought much about this AU, just kind of discovered it as I was researching the rest of everything. But I think it could be cool, but also a bit weird. I feel like both of these points in their lives were very low, like something they would cringe at in their present age. But Feeny Phoenix wears his heart on his sleeve and gets hurt real easily emotionally. His love was taken advantage of by Dahlia, who used him for her evil plans. But I feel like if it was directed towards someone who like wasn't evil, it'd be one of those doting types or like overwhelming love types, right? And then Bratworth Edgeworth is stricter, crueler, and he's also probably like very egotistical at this age. with him being talked about as this like prodigy prosecutor and him winning all his cases. And he'd probably think Phoenix is a loser. And it'd be tougher for Phoenix to influence him like he did in the first game, since he's not even a lawyer yet.
Well, he's his loser.
He's his lawyer. Yeah. Like in the first game, after 2 cases where Phoenix beats Edgeworth twice, and Edgeworth starts being like, oh, maybe I've been doing stuff wrong, right? But like here, Phoenix is a law student, Edgeworth is already prosecuting, so he's like, you fucking dumbass, cannot compare. I do not need to listen to you. Yeah. What the hell is... But Edgeworth could bully Phoenix or angrily tell him to go away, but he'd still be like, what is this? What did I write? Okay. It'd be interesting, like, not court law related meet cute story, since, well, I guess it's still kind of court law related, but they aren't like in court yet. Unless someone dies, which is often the case, then never mind. Meet cute at the crime scene, less than 3.
Well, maybe the person that was prosecuting Phoenix at the Dahlia trial was actually Wrightworth.
Yeah,
Changed it
exactly.
around.
Like if it was like that, I feel like that would be very dramatic. That would be kind of oh gosh, this tasty. Okay. Yeah, that's all I have. And then I have this that I added in the end that I was like, oh, we did that one thing where we filled out a shipping chart, I think. So
Yeah.
you can do it again if you feel like it. Or we can end here. Any questions about the presentation?
Any questions?
Any questions?
Any
Do you have
thoughts?
No,
Any
teacher.
comments? Any
I am not
feelings?
questioning. I am not questioning Wrightworth.
I have nothing to question.
There's no objection.
Amazing. Perfect.
You have thoroughly convinced we didn't need convincing.
But now you know everything.
Yay!
Hooray!
This is fucking wild.
Yeah, this thing,
Oh god, we're
this
so gay.
presentation was 34 slides long.
Oh wait, I kind of want to do this one where, can you put Edgeworth on the very corner of "Can't stop thinking about them" and "Don't look at me"?
You're right.
Yeah.
And then Phoenix is the very corner on top of him where it's attention hog and can't stop thinking about them.
Yeah. Let's see.
And stuff. Yeah, you know, what do you fucking use? It's crazy.
Those that are in love seething about it. Edgeworth.
Oh, wait. Edgeworth is sell them to Satan for a coinship and then allies.
Oh my god.
But like in the middle of the quadrant, not like all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Though realistically he'd be on that would never hurt them, but it's funnier when you say sell, like he thinks it's sell them to a coinship, but it's actually would never hurt them.
If Edgeworth plotted this himself, it would be here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thrilled about it, knows they're in love and thrilled about it. This is Phoenix.
Yeah?
Would he be thrilled about it?
Would he be thrilled?
Kind of.
Like
Middle-ish.
middle-ish.
Middle-ish, yeah.
Yeah. Would you say like he knows immediate?
Lower a little.
Yeah. He's like
Yeah, like there.
He's a little dense.
right? Yeah.
Or, you know, you can go like the puppy route where it's like fucking thrilled, but I don't know what this is. I'm just happy every time I see you, dude. Totally, bro.
I guess
irritating and sappy as Phoenix.
Irritating and snappy. Oh yeah.
I
Snappy
mean,
is
Edgeworth
definitely.
is stoic and irritating, I guess.
But not like super irritating. It's like
Yeah,
just
not
more
that
understood.
irritating.
Oh, true,
That's-
true.
That's more Bratworth. And then
Would never hurt them allies.
yeah,
Yeah. Wow.
10 out of 10.
10 out of
Wow,
10.
they're so opposites of each other. Not really.
Amazing.
Yippee!
Yippee! I vomited out all my words and now I have nothing left to say.
I love red bouquets.
I love, oh my god, red bouquets. So good.
Happy July 4th.
Happy July 4th.
It's the 4th of July?
It's not.
Yeah.
Holy shit, it is.
Oh wait, it is now?
Well, for me.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
yet for PST.
Everyone.
I mean, it's been for me for like the past 12-ish hours. 13 hours. But the 4th of
Yay.
July has no meaning here.
It's now the Red Blue Gaze Day.
Yeah, just take out the white.
No, the white is the cravat.
Yeah, white.
The
Yeah.
white is
The
the
cravat and the white
Why
shirt.
is the cravat in the middle of the ship?
Phoenix has red,
Red,
black,
white, and blue.
Yeah,
the
Phoenix has
white
red,
is
white,
the
and blue.
pastor who's marrying them.
Oh my god. Okay.
The white is the amount of children they adopted.
Yes.
Because God, they have so many kids now.
There's so much, man. They keep giving us young
Wait, let
new
me think.
characters.
What was the meaning of the Thai flag? And red is blood.
Blood.
Like blue is
I don't
monarchy.
remember.
White is religion. Red is the people. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know what the American flag means still, but we do have the same colors.
Oh, they have. I didn't know they got
Isn't it the
new jewelry
50?
from Material Craft.
Jewelry.
Oh yeah.
They have new necklaces. Phoenix and Edgeworth.
Oh.
Damn, they have matching rings and
Yeah,
necklaces
they have
now.
necklaces too. Yeah.
Crazy.
Oh.
It is very
They
pretty
did.
though.
They did some for the newer games too. Didn't they?
Yeah. Oh my god, are these Herlock Sholmes earrings?
Yeah.
What?
Wait, Herlock Sholmes has a ring too.
A ring. Who?
I don't know.
Well, there is a guy that he is usually shipped with. Oh wait, what? Wait, wait. Wait.
Okay, time to end stream.
Wait, oh shit, what's his name? Was it just Ryunosuke and Kasuma also have rings? What is this?
Wow.
Oh wait, it's kind of a spoiler because they used his like secret identity
Oh,
photo.
that's his guy. Okay.
But
The guy with the mask?
yeah,
Oh.
what? Material Crown, you need to calm down.
Oh wait, the girl's got a necklace too.
Yeah.
How many collabs did they have with this?
I don't know.
Probably a lot. Considering they've been out for a long time.
Project out of an 89 out of 100. And what's some points for childhood court case? That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that. I can't believe I forgot the class trial. Like, the most important part. It was so in my head that I was like, everyone
That's
knows
worth
about it
11
already.
points. Hello, can we see the rubric? Seems awfully homosexual.
Yeah.
Ooh. Great. Wow. Thank you for coming to my presentation.
Yippee.
How does Larry Butts factor into all of this? He's childhood friends with both of them. Larry Butts threw away his Signal Samurai keychain, and therefore Larry Butts is not part of this equation.
Larry Butts
He will
took
never be
himself
part of
the
this
equation.
equation.
Also, additionally, Larry Butts is always dating around. Every time we meet him, he's with a new girl. And he is quite literally just a joke butt guy.
You know what? He's there to be tortured by Edgeworth and Phoenix.
Yes.
It's their
And
favorite
rightfully
pastime.
so.
Yeah.
It was Phoenix's rebound. Wrong.
No.
Larry is what I would describe as like violently heterosexual. Like he's so heterosexual in the game and expresses it as such. It's like yeah. Violently,
He's like
yes.
lost in Pokemon.
Larry's a hoe and these guys want a commitment. Exactly. Now I'm thinking, like, if I had more time, I would recommend fan fiction, but I don't have any that like I really remember as standing out. Like I've read like a good amount, but like I can't remember if there's anything that I'm like, man, this one's so good. It was all just kind of like, yeah, this would happen. All the time in the world. Man. But if you want Clopolo fanfiction, I have more of those. Okay.
Oh god. When are
It's-
they?
it's-
When is this presentation?
It's so sad. I can't make a long
Next
presentation for Clopolo because they literally kill off
It's
not Clef.
yeah, it's just one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Clavier gets sidelined. And then he disappears in Spirit of Justice. So it's rough. It's hard out here. But you could probably make another very in-depth analysis about Ryunosuke and Kazuma. Because their two games are centered around them. Like how the trilogy
Oh,
is
dang.
very Phoenix
Nice.
Edgeworth about it. Yeah. Yep. Okay. Alright. That's it. I have nothing else.
Yay.
Yay.
Finally.
Finally, I can put this presentation to rest. Before I go, what?
What's happening? I can't look at chat.
I don't know. I'm waiting.
Let me open Twitch.
No. Alright, good night.
Weird, what is it?
I'm not shilling my own game.
Anyways, play Ritenuto.
Say no.
Free on itch. The whole version came out just a few days ago.
Wow, free and it's free.
It's yours. Free games, free games.
Free wow.
If you like the
Yeah.
gays from this game,
You like the gays in the other game.
you'll like the gays in Ritanuto. There are also two idiots in love.
Oh my god! Wow.
Wow.
Let's go.
Okay. All right. That's it. Good night.
We
No
Good
more.
night. Good night.